the Lighten Up podcast with Lauren Polly, your invitation for living on the lighter side of life. I am Lauren Polly, and I'm delighted to have you join me today for episode 232, Strange Times. Oh boy, it's been a very fascinating couple of weeks, not just for myself in my own space, in my own living, but also every single person that I talk to. Not just my coaching clients, but also my friends, people who are kind of tapped into more of the conscious waves that occur, the energetic shifts that occur here, there, and everywhere. Even the people who aren't really tapped into that, even like my Joe Schmo friends who kind of aren't really interested in those bigger pictures, but are still aware, that happens. Even if you're not trying to tune in, you are aware of the bigger picture occurring all the time. It's just been strange times for everybody. Communication and connection's been a little bit wonky. People have been feeling very kind of lost and confused. There's been a lot of blinders, I would say, just in myself noticing about wanting to create and move forward and sitting down in front of the computer and having it be like, wow, there is really nothing here. It's like almost looking through a fog. So I wanted to just make this episode and put that out there. I know I've gotten a lot of relief this past week or two just by talking to other people who are just acknowledging that stuff's up. There's things that are going on in the world. Yes, we know that. But also there are energetic shifts occurring as well. And remember, no matter what you're trying to or you're not trying to, you're actually aware of the bigger picture. You do not live and function in a bubble. We try to make it be that way so frequently, where there is this, I've got my stuff, you've got your stuff. Sure, I see that thing happening over here with that group of people in that country, whatever. We try to make it so that it's separate and that we can look at it from afar and not perceive it, not be aware of it, and most importantly, try not to have it impact or affect us. It's an interesting line, I would say, where being aware of the bigger picture and not being at the effect of it, but also acknowledging the fact that you are aware and that those things may be slipping in a little bit to your mood, to your energy, to your creations, actually brings a lot of relief because it will bring you clarity as to why you may be feeling the way you are. So though you don't function in a bubble, though you try to function in a bubble, or we're at least taught that we should be living in this reality, there's a fine line between not bubbling off, being aware, being open, but also not being at the effect of everything around you. And for me, the kind of money spot there is what we just talked about. We're just acknowledging the fact of, okay, there's a lot going on in the world right now. Even though it looks like it's not touching me, even though I'm only seeing it on the news or hearing it secondhand from this person, it is and it may be something that I'm aware of that may be changing the sense I have with my body, my creations, my business, my mood, what have you. So just take a second with me and look back over this last week at all the strange spots you may have been going through. Those moods that may not have had a rational thought as to why they were bouncing here, there, and everywhere or took a nosedive. Those communications that have been a little bit more tricky to handle. Those connections that may feel like, oh, that person just isn't there anymore. Or just even waking up in the morning and feeling like there's an elephant on your chest or feeling a bit confused. What would it take to just look back at those and touch them with the softness, the non-judgment, and the awareness that a lot of that probably isn't yours? I'd hazard a guess that the majority of it is not even yours. That may just be your awareness and you tapping into the bigger picture, you being non-bubbled, right? So just allowing yourself to have that moment of acknowledgement of, okay, I don't live in a bubble, even though there's stuff that I'm looking at from outside, or seemingly so, it may be creeping a bit inside. And now, what do we do moving forward? When you wake up in the morning and you feel heavy, When you have no rational whatever to be feeling the way you are, or to be having trouble connecting or creating or moving forward, what do you do to actually allow yourself to have that movement and to have a sense of yourself again? Acknowledge that you are aware that this stuff is not yours, and then how can you start to redirect your energy? And that's what I've been playing with a lot this last week. Having these conversations with my clients, my friends, just the awareness too of, like I said, people who aren't super aware, they're not really interested in these conversations, but just being aware in my own space of like, oh, look, they're going through interesting stuff too. That brings an immediate sense of relief because it lets you know you're not alone. There are probably bigger things at play here. And then where do you go from there? The acknowledgement only loosens up some of it. You really have to start looking at your choices. How long do you sit in other people's stuff? How long do you allow a non-creative space to envelop you? Especially when you know it actually isn't yours. There's nothing for you to do, to fix, or to change it. Well, the trick with that is just to allow yourself to get into action and to reclaim a sense of yourself, a sense of creativity, and a sense of movement. I have a running list, and this was an activity that I got from one of my mentors, Dr. Dane here, back in the day. Having a list of all the things you can do, activities, things you can take a part of that actually give you a sense of space, sense of lightness, and make you feel like you. And it's a running list I've been keeping now for, 11, 12 years. I just continue to add to it. And it's fascinating because in these moments when you're super stuck, when you're feeling very lost, you're feeling very confused, you're feeling like, something is just off and I'm not quite sure what. Yes, acknowledging that you are connected to the bigger picture. You may be aware of other stuff. It's not yours to deal with or to handle. It's just half the battle. Sometimes after that conversation, you still may feel so stuck that you need an easy out. If you just had this running list, an easy out where you can open up the list on your iPhone, look in your journal, wherever it lives, and go, okay, I need to pick something off this list to reclaim a sense of myself. Therefore, you're not allowing yourself to sit in that space. So often we acknowledge something as not being ours, as not us having any control over it. And instead of like actually moving away from it, we kind of sit with it for a while. Instead, actually having this really easy to-do list, to create list, to play list, to actually allow you to reclaim a sense of yourself is a game changer. It's really through the actions that you can take and the redirection of energy away from other people's stuff, away from the things that you actually have no control over. It's not yours to fix, to change, to heal, and redirecting all that energy that was going into anxiety or depression or kind of that Netflix binging where you're half present and half not present, couch potatoing it, or just being in kind of unhealthy dynamics with people around you. Taking all of that extra energy and going, not mine to fix, to heal, to change. Okay, cool. Where do I put this now to actually regain a sense of myself? My list includes hiking, nature time, yoga, dance classes, lots of movement stuff. I'm a big body person. Getting in touch with my body immediately kind of pulls me out of other people's stuff. Also writing, journaling, going to a museum, actually taking part in some artistic creativity. And a lot of times where I may be so tuned into other people's stuff that I'm not actually hearing my own creation. So I'll open up a Word document and actually just start journaling and see what pops from there. There is no wrong way to make this list. There is no right way to make this list. It is just simply a running tally of the things that you can do, you can take conscious action on, and make the choice to redirect your energy to something that makes you feel like yourself. gives you a sense of not just peace and ease in that moment, but also lightness and creativity and fun as well. Kind of a two-step process I'd love you to start working with this week, especially if you've been going through these strange times like so many of us have. Know you're not alone. Know that you are connected to the bigger picture. Even if it looks like you aren't directly involved in things, again, those ripples, when you are conscious, when you are aware, when you are sensitive, whatever word you want to put to it, will actually start to creep into your space. Acknowledging that you're aware that there are bigger things afoot immediately will allow you to disidentify with it. Okay, it's not mine. Okay, is there anything that I need to do with this? No, not mine to heal, to fix, to change, just stuff I'm aware of. Okay, cool. I still have a lot of energy around it. There's still kind of some nervous energy, some anxious energy, there's a blah energy. I'm going to take all of that and I'm going to redirect it. I'm going to make the conscious choice to pivot and to refocus that energy into something that actually serves me. How do I do that? Let me pull out my list and see. Start to work this way this week. Whenever you feel stuck, whenever you're feeling anxious, whenever you wake up just super heavy and not really knowing why, or like for me, I've been feeling very fatigued. I've just kind of feels like there's a fog around me that it's been hard to like record a podcast or get anything going. Being able to just be aware of those energies, know that it's not yours, you're tapped into the bigger picture, and then making the choice to pull out that list and take action on it may start to move and shift things for you. You know, imagine being aware, but also being highly productive. Imagine being aware, but also having peace with that awareness. And imagine yourself being connected to everyone around you, but still having conscious choice on how you live your life and how you show up for your day to day. This conversation, this kind of easy two-step process is something that can do just that for you. Have an amazing week playing with this, and as always, I will chat with you next Tuesday.